We all know that eating healthier is important, but it can be so overwhelming to figure out where to start. That's why today I want to share only 3 tips that are easy to implement and don't require a complete overhaul of our diets. By following the steps, you will be able to keep your blood glucose stable, increase the variety of plant-based foods in your diet, and reduce stress, all of which can have a positive impact on your overall health and especially on your eating habits. 1. Keep your blood glucose stable. To keep our blood glucose stable, it's important to eat foods with a low glycemic index or even better, a low glycemic load. The glycemic index measures how quickly a carb-containing food is broken down and absorbed into the bloodstream on a scale from 0 to 100. Glucose, the fastest absorbed carb, is given a value of 100. However, glycemic load is a better tool because it also takes into account the amount of carbs in a portion. For instance, watermelon has a glycemic index between 72 and 80, which is considered quite high. However, it contains only 8 grams of carbs per 100 grams, meaning that the typical serving of watermelon has a glycemic load of 4 or 5, which is actually low. Consuming sugar, carbs, and foods with a high glycemic loads can cause glucose spikes, which deliver a large amount of sugar to our bodies in a short amount of time. This results in a rapid increase in energy, but once our body has stored the extra sugar in our blood, our energy levels decreases even faster, leaving us feeling tired and sluggish. Not only do glucose spikes mess up with our energy levels, but can also harm our health. These spikes trigger the release of insulin, a hormone produced by the pancreas that captures the extra sugar in our bloodstream and brings it to normal levels. Insulin helps glucose enter cells in our muscles, fat, and liver, where it's used for energy. However, prolonged exposure to high levels of glucose can lead to insulin resistance, which disrupts our metabolic health and increases our vulnerability to diseases such as diabetes. How to keep our blood glucose stable? Eating foods with a low glycemic load helps keep our blood glucose stable. Unfortunately though, it's not easy to find the glycemic load value for all foods. As a rule of thumb, it's ideal to avoid sugar and eat foods that contain only a small amount of carbs. However, carbs are good, and especially for us women, there are days when we just need more of them. In her book Glucose Revolution, Jessie Inchospe provides science-based hacks that enable us to maintain stable blood glucose levels even when we consume carbs. These are the ones I personally apply. Eat a green starter before a carb-rich meal. Avoid the spike from the first meal of my day. Include all the food groups in each meal, which helps me to make sure I'm having protein in each meal as well. Eat the foods in the right order. First fiber, then protein and fat, starch, and lastly carbs and sugar. Eat carbs together with protein and fats. Move after eating. Personally, I found experimenting with a continuous glucose monitor to be very useful to keep my blood glucose stable. The CGM tracks your blood glucose minute by minute and shows you in a graph how your body reacts to the food you eat. One of the main takeaways from my experiments with the glucose monitor was that I discovered that the oatmeal with yogurt and seeds I was eating as my first meal of the day was creating a spike in my glucose levels. However, by adding a hard-boiled egg before the oats, the spike disappeared. In case you would like to give it a go, I have left a link in the description below to the CGM I use that includes a 20% discount. 2. Increase variety of plant-based foods. We all know that eating plant-based foods is beneficial for our health. Fruits and vegetables are packed with essential micronutrients and fiber that help our digestive system work better. But the plant-based foods world is much more than just fruits and veggies, which makes it easier to increase variety. It also includes nuts and seeds that are rich in fats and protein, as well as beans and legumes, high in fiber, and herbs and spices, which are always great addition to any meal. Introducing more plant-based foods into our diet can lead to a thriving gut microbiome. In fact, different microbes thrive on fibers from different plants, which is literally their foods and what they need to survive. Research has shown that the greater the variety of microbes in our gut microbiome, the healthier our gut becomes. How to increase variety of plant-based foods? These are some ideas to make it easier to eat foods we usually don't buy. When grocery shopping, we can try purchasing an unfamiliar ingredient and then research how to use it and prepare it at home. We can also ask our friends for their go-to salad or how they typically prepare their vegetables, legumes, and what herbs and spices they use. Adding seeds and herbs to our salad is also a no-brainer. I keep mine next to the salad condiments so they are easy to grab. Add spices to your meals, and even better, use mix of spices. For example, I use garam masala, a blend of 7 spices, when making a dal recipe. And I add my pumpkin pie spice mix to my oats, which contains 4 different spices. You can find the recipe for that up here. Finally, a good way to add variety to our diet is by trying traditional recipes from other countries. 3. Reduce stress. Stress affects the whole system of our physical body, as well as our thoughts, feelings, and behavior. However, not everyone finds it easy to detect. In fact, we might be in a phase of our life when we don't even notice that we are under stress, because we have been building up over the years and have become accustomed to it. Some people might experience symptoms of stress, such as headaches or other physical pains. Others might have their sleep affected by stress. However, if we cannot recognize the signs, we can also take a closer look at our lifestyle. If we rush from one commitment to another, barely have time to sit down for our meals, and do not have time to decompress because we always have things to do, there is a high chance that we are living under stress. Human studies have also shown that diet, stress, and gut bacteria are interconnected, and that this connection impacts immune function and overall health. The problem with stress is that it can contribute to an infinite loop that includes poor sleep, an unhealthy diet, and overconsumption of caffeine and alcohol. This can cause feelings of anger, resentment, and other negative emotions. How to reduce stress? Here are a few suggestions to reduce stress. As always, I suggest starting with the one that feels easiest to implement. 1. Practice mindfulness. Being mindful means practicing being more present and living in the moment. It involves being aware of where we are and what we are doing, observing our thoughts and feelings without judgment, and stopping worry about the past or the future. Mindfulness can be practiced during meditation sessions, but we can also practice it while we eat. This might involve eating slowly and savoring our foods, or sharing meals with someone else and being fully present. 2. Physical activities. Engaging in physical activities has been shown to reduce stress, but it's important to find an activity that fits your preferences and needs. Some people prefer slow activities like yoga or tai chi, while others might prefer team sports, dancing, or running. For others, going for a walk in nature or in a park might be the best option, while some might prefer high-intensity activities like CrossFit or weightlifting. Choose an activity that makes you happy, and keep in mind that you don't have to commit to it forever. Life changes, and so do we, so it's best to adapt our activities to our lifestyle. 3. Reduce caffeine. Caffeine stimulates the nervous system and has an effect on the body for many hours after ingestion. To reduce the impact of caffeine, try to limit the amount of caffeinated beverages you consume and avoid them after 1 p.m. 4. Learn to wind down before bed. Reduce screen time by at least 1 hour before bedtime and leave your phone outside your bedroom. Create a routine that signals to your body that it's almost time for bed. This can include dimming the lights, doing a skincare routine, brushing your teeth and flossing, changing into your pajamas, spending some relaxing time with your significant other, journaling, and reflecting on your day. These last 2 routines can be especially beneficial for those whose minds become active immediately after turning off the lights. Think of it as a practice to clear your mind of tasks, reflections, worries, or doubts. 5. Meet up with positive friends that make you laugh. When we are already stressed, the last thing we want is to take on more stress from others. On the other hand, positive people can cheer us up, especially if there is some laughter involved. 6. Ask for help. I'm referring to the type of help from a professional that can not only help manage or reduce your stress, but also help identify and eliminate its causes. Another type of help is from someone who could take over some of the tasks that we enjoy the least and that cause the most stress. If you are lucky to have supportive partners, friends, or family members, ask them to share your responsibilities. That can be related to household chores or taking care of children or pets. Talk to them, share your struggles, and work together to find a way for them to offer support. Now that we have looked at some tips for eating healthier starting today, you might want to watch this video here where I talk about common mistakes people make when trying to eat healthier.